Here we go.
Ready.
All right, here we go. XO Sports Talk Live, 5th edition. Today is May 3rd, 2021. Welcome to XO Sports Talk Live. We're doing it again. We got the best sports talk show in the land. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. What's up, dogs?
What's
Hey,
going
what's
on,
going on,
What's
fellas?
going on, man?
How's
What's going on,
everybody?
Good to see
Good, man.
everybody.
We here, man. We here again. We are here
Everything's
again.
great. Everything's great.
We are
Let's
all
go.
here to talk about what happened Thursday in the NFL.
Yes.
Quite a few surprises.
Everything.
So,
Yes.
who was the surprise player picked in the first round in the NFL draft? I'm going to start with Emerson.
Listen, my surprise player would have to be Najee Harris. I really like him. Running back, went to the Pittsburgh Steelers from Alabama. Big, strong, physical back. He can carry the load of a team, give him the ball 20, 25 times. I felt he could have went a little higher in the draft, but there were so many other needs for teams as far as the quarterback. We saw the quarterback carousel with so many teams selecting quarterbacks. I really thought Najee Harris had top 10, top 15 potential, but I think he's going to help the Steelers to solidify their running game, and they got a hell of a player, Najee Harris. That was my surprise player. Like I said, I thought he could have went a little higher, but he fell right there to a team that needed a running back because they lost one of their starting backs, and James Conner over the during the offseason, and they had to fill that void. So Najee Harris, he's going to be a hell of a player. Watch out, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Woo!
And how about you, Malcolm?
I had Eric Stokes, the cornerback. I think Green Bay just picked him because he can run fast. Obviously, he's a good corner, decent corner, but he wasn't ranked as one of the top 5 or 6 corners to me, or whichever. But if they caught him, he runs like a 4.2, so you can't teach speed. That's what they can't teach.
Yeah.
So Green Bay, let's go get him. Let's go get him and see what he does. We'll see what he do. My thing is, I think he was better around in the second round. There was other corners out there that was better.
And how about you, Terry?
For me, I'm gonna go with J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. He was projected to be a top 15 pick, and Carolina, they grabbed him at 8. It surprised me because they kind of needed to address their offensive line a little bit, but they grabbed him. I guess another surprising thing for me was I believe he was the first defensive player to go in the draft as well. I didn't expect a cornerback to go, especially at number 8.
Yeah.
And especially over, and they had Patrick Surtain. He was supposed to be the top corner in the draft, and they picked Horn over him. So that was a surprise to me.
And how about you, Brian?
I was gonna go with Stokes, but Malcolm kind of covered that, so that was something I thought was a little surprising. So I'm gonna kind of flip it and go with Elijah Moore. And I know he went in the second round, but I was expecting him to be in the first round actually. But I thought it was a good pickup for the Jets, just to solidify and help out the young quarterback. A great receiver, catches everything. Put him in the slot. So I think that's gonna be a good pickup for them. Surprised he won in the second round.
Mine was Trey Lance. I didn't think Trey Lance was going to the 49ers. The 49ers did a excellent smoke screen letting everybody think that Fields was their guy. And I saw one of the workouts of Trey Lance, and the kid's got a cannon, but I thought that he would fall in the draft because he played in North Dakota, and where that teams would look at him like the young man that played in Philadelphia, that they would just shy away from North Dakota quarterbacks. But that was a poker game that the 49ers did, because I was like, what is the purpose of them playing that smoke screen? But I think it had a major effect on the Chicago Bears. I think it had an effect on the Washington NFL football team, that they thought, yeah, this kid would probably fall in. We don't have to move up. And just like that, it can change your draft board.
Yeah.
So I learned something that, hey, you know who you're really going to pick, blah, blah, blah. But that smoke screen really made everybody start going, okay, change of plans. And good job by the 49ers. Looking at this kid, 6'4", 20 years old. He's only going to sit out as probably Garoppolo's going to play unless there's a draft. I mean, somebody's willing to give up some draft picks to get Garoppolo. 2019, this kid had 287 pass attempts for 192 completions, 0 interceptions, and 28 touchdowns.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was
that
was pretty good. So hats off to the 49ers for picking Trey Lance, and I hope the kid have nothing but success.
And also, Aaron, I think there's always smoke screens around draft time. I think you'll always see that. There always has been, always will be. You'll hear names and rumblings from teams, and they really just have their eyes set on a particular player, but they want to give you the illusion. They want to give you the Houdini illusion that they're looking at another player. So you'll always see smoke screens out there. I think that's going to be going on for the next years and years and years to come.
I got to get the Niners hats off because they did a good job, because I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
And the coach and the GM knew. They wouldn't tell either. And they're the assistant coaches. They only told the head coach and the GM was the only one that knew.
Yeah.
What I was surprised is taking a page from the Dallas Cowboys, you had Prescott, and you had I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, your running back right now.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
You had 2 young guys that came in at the right time, and they peaked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, why didn't the Jets take Najee along with the quarterback that they drafted so that these 2 could play together?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Perry,
what I
what do you
thought.
think about that?
Well, I thought that was kind of surprising, because that, just like you said, I mean, if you get your quarterback and then you can get your running back, both young, I thought it was going to be that 1-2 combo that the Jets would kind of need to, come out of their funk. But they didn't do it. And I was just surprised that, Najee fell to you guys. I was very surprised at that. That was another surprise that I had on my list as well. So,
and what do you think about that, Malcolm?
Well, they had to get some blocking. They knew they had to get blocking for sure. They were like, but they did pick a running back in the second round, didn't they? I'm going to double check that right now. I was looking to see that. I think they did. They picked up. They picked a wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah, second round. That might have been the third.
Yeah.
No, Elijah Moore was second round.
Elijah Moore was second round. Yeah.
They picked a running back in the third round. my thing is, yeah, there'll be running backs available in the second and third round. But that's why I thought Pittsburgh jumped the gun a little bit, because I know they needed a back bad, but I didn't know they would waste their first round pick on it, because they needed more blocking than anything. They lost offensive linemen like crazy. You lost Ponce and the other guy. I mean, you're gonna need blocking no matter what, because Big Ben can't run. That's for sure. He's like a statue back there.
And what do you think about that, Emerson?
Well, when we talk about the Jets, I mean, you solidify that quarterback position, taking Zach Wilson, and then, but Elijah Vera Tucker from USC, he's a beast. I call him Mr. Pancake. And if you're going to invest in a quarterback that's going to be your franchise quarterback, the face of the team, you need to solidify him with some blocking. Elijah Vera Tucker, he from USC, he's a monster. He ran like a 4.8 or something like that on his pro day. That's just incredible for a man his size. 4.8, 4.9, something just crazy out of the box right there. They did solidify that running back position, taking Michael Carter from North Carolina, who I think is a sturdy back, very durable, good short yardage running back, can catch out of the backfield. So they did pick up a running back there, but we also talked about we need somebody to throw the ball to, and I picking Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. He's a great receiver. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. So the Jets made some moves there. Big ups to their front office.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Brian?
Yeah. Well, in the previous episode or previous show, I was flip-flopping because I thought Najee would not be there for the Steelers. I thought somebody would take him. And with him being available, I had no issues with that. But they do need to solidify that offensive line. So I was surprised that they took him. So the Jets still came out good with the running back that they did pick. So I have no issues with that at all. I think they're going to be just fine. But
I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, Brian. I'm telling you. I watched that kid down there in North Carolina, Carter. Listen, he's gonna turn a lot of heads. And everybody's gonna say, "Whoa, they got him in the 4th round." Oh, he's gonna turn a lot of heads.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And like you said, and he can catch out the backfield too.
Yeah,
That's just,
you need it all.
yeah. Another weapon out there for the young quarterback.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In that pick, at the on the offensive line, nothing happens without the O-line. Let's be clear on that. Nothing happens without the O-line. There's no catches. There's no handoffs. There's nothing. There's no moving the chains. I think now that we see the value of offensive linemen over these last few years, teams that have made the right selections, building an offensive line, being able to run the football, being able to throw the football, pass protection is key now. And I think when you got a chance to get a offensive tackle or guard, because he can slide inside and play guard as well, and he be able to anchor your line for the next 10, 12 years, you make that pick, especially when you have a franchise quarterback that's there and you want to be able to protect him. I know some people talked about Joe Burrow getting hurt last year. He was running around a lot. Cincinnati, they're going to be looking to upgrade their offensive line, I'm sure, immediately. So big ups to the Jets.
Yeah, but what you just said, if I'm correct, didn't Cincinnati take did they take an offensive lineman?
I believe they did, yeah.
Yeah.
They did grab an offensive lineman. And I was basically saying that because of Joe Burrow getting hurt last year.
Well,
he's a promising
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
They took a wide receiver.
Took a wide receiver.
Took the wide receiver.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. They did.
They did get some help on the offensive line later.
That played with Burrows.
Yep.
Okay.
And so he's going to be running again for his life.
They'll find someone to fill in those holes. They know they don't want their franchise quarterback taking a beating back there.
Yeah.
So you want to give him some help. Help is on the way, Joe Burrow. Help is on the way.
Because
They might have to take Anthony Munoz and bring him out of retirement and plug Anthony Munoz in there if they have to.
That's crazy.
yeah,
Hey, he looked like he could still play, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Staley.
Because
Yeah.
it's interesting when you take a look at Kansas City, who went to the Super Bowl, had a running game, but it was more of the passing game.
Mhm.
And for cold weather, they always talk about you have to have a good running game. And so, that's pretty interesting.
Tide
There's
is
always a
turning.
running back out there. There's always a running back out there.
That's for a discussion for another day during the NFL season between. Woo! What NFL team did good in the draft? We're going to start this one with Malcolm.
Well, I'm thinking Tennessee. Tennessee, they slammed it. They got the cornerback Khalid in the first round, and the second round they got a couple of more guys, but I know they did good in the third round, definitely. And overall, I thought Tennessee did pretty good. I mean, they're a quality team. They're gonna be a pretty good team anyway. They're gonna be fit because they were strong anyway. And that D line was pretty good, along with that O line who just blocked for everybody. And they already had Robinson last year. Then they picked a running back in the first round, which was ETN, who was definitely nasty. I mean,
yeah.
I guess they went for broke because in reality, you do need two running backs if you want to make it in the playoffs. You want to make it.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing
Yes.
17 games this year. You
Yeah.
know,
That's true.
so I can't beat that up. I thought Tennessee did a great job.
And what about you, Terry?
I'm gonna go with Minnesota. They addressed basically all their needs in this draft. They picked up offensive tackle and Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech, and then like in the third round, they picked up Patrick Jones from Pitt, and then they got another defensive end in the fourth round, Janarius Robinson from Florida.
Yeah.
And then
Good player.
and then they got themselves a quarterback in Kellen Mond out of Texas A&M, future quarterback for them. But I think that was kind of key just looking forward, because I think Kirk Cousins' contract, I think next year that's like a $45 million hit on the cap for them.
Do they want to pay that?
Well, they.
By the way, I was wrong. Travis Etienne didn't. He went to the Jaguars.
He went to Jacksonville. ETN went to Jacksonville.
I was wrong about that.
So I feel Minnesota, they did a good job in this draft.
And what about you, Brian?
My pick would be the Chargers. They lost a lot of close games last year. Picked up offensive tackle John Slater. To me, I think he was
He's
number
incredible.
one. Him and what was the other lineman that went? Sunu.
Yeah. Sewell. Penei Sewell.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
picking him up, protect your young quarterback Herbert, who had Rookie of the Year. Also picking up Asante Samuel.
Good pick.
Good pick. So I think they're just on the cusp of taking over that division, actually.
Yeah.
And how about you, Emerson?
Listen, I'm going down to Miami. Those Miami Dolphins, they made some noise down there. I know they've been collecting picks. They traded away some top flight players. Fitzpatrick going to Pittsburgh, and so they've been able to gain some picks over the last few years. Jalen Waddle, I mean, he's a stud receiver out of Alabama. I mean, what more can I say? They're just a football powerhouse. They just produce pros every year in and year out. They produce pros. So giving Tua somebody to throw to, that's going to be able to stretch the field, be able to take the little hitch patterns, screens, jet sweeps. He can do it all. Just put him on. He's a football player. Put him on the field, and he's gonna give you production. Also, they got one of the stud defensive ends out of Miami and Jalen Phillips, an edge rusher. Guy can come off the edge, cause havoc. Pretty much unblockable on his last year, in the year before. I mean, when you can take a player like him to be able to cause havoc, cause turnovers, to get their football back to the offense, I think you just can't go wrong with that pick. And then they protected their back end on defense by taking Javon Holland. He was rated number 5, number 6 on a lot of different draft boards as one of the top safeties. I thought he could have been in there with the top 3, with the Richie Grants of the world and Cisco's of the world from Syracuse. But getting Javon Holland to play that safety, runs like a 4.40 on your back end to cover your secondary. I think he was a great pickup too. So watch out for the Miami Dolphins. I think they're going to make some noise this year. Don't underestimate them. You better be ready to play. And I think Tua, having another year under his belt, he's going to excel this year. Watch out.
Yeah, Miami's a very well coached team.
Very well coached.
And I think he's pretty much so far he's doing a good job down there. My team is the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
And I know how much you Cowboy fans out there wanted Patrick Surtain.
Oh my God, did we? Boy, did we. Yes.
And they also picking up Jonte Williams. I think those 2 players are going to make an impact right off the hop.
Mm-hmm.
And Denver has a very good, solid defense. Let's just hope that their quarterback is ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if he makes a jump this year, Denver can make some noise. They can be in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that Denver's going to be a Super Bowl team, but for Denver to make it to the playoffs, hey, that's a start.
Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday.
I recall last year Denver had to take somebody off the street and put them in as quarterback because of COVID.
In fact, did they have a wide receiver playing quarterback at one time?
Yeah.
I believe they had a gentleman. They asked him, look, we know you haven't played, but could you play quarterback for us this Sunday?
No, I remember that. Listen, man, I think my man was working a 9-to-5 job somewhere. And listen, he had like a few days to run over the playbook, and they just played some sandlot football. Listen, I'm going to drop back. You go long, you go short, and just beat your man. I'll get it to you. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I couldn't wait.
It was entertaining football for the situation that they were in.
Right.
And hey, he collected check that day, so hats off to him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But how did your team do in the NFL draft?
Ooh.
Oh boy. Let's go with Brian on this. How do you think your team did in the NFL draft, and what would you grade them?
Well, who is this team?
It's the team.
You see the symbol.
Right,
you see the
all the Super Bowl trophies.
Yeah, it's just floating in heaven. Pick up a Najee was good. I don't know much about the offensive lineman that they did take. So that's going to be determined. Tight end, necessary. I wasn't in love with that pick, but I can understand it. But I thought we could have went with a DB or another lineman. So I would say maybe a C+.
Glad you wasn't my teacher.
Yeah. You got to speak
Malcolm.
truth to the facts, man.
with that Lone Star on your hat.
Yes.
How
I
do
give my
you-
team I won't lie, I'll give my team a B minus because I didn't know the guys in the middle rounds as much as they did, obvious. But I mean, I love, of course, the first pick we got, which was the best defensive player, the best linebacker in college, and the dude runs a 4.39, which is incredible. And then with the second round, I mean, I can go with the cornerback that we got. I'm happy with that. I can live with that because he's just a corner. It ain't like he coming out being a stud true. Would have been nice to have Patrick Surtain, but it didn't fall to us, so it didn't happen. But what I do love is Jabril Cox, the linebacker from LSU. This guy is the best cover linebacker in college, period. Period. I mean, the kid is awesome, and he's gonna start, if not this year, end of next year. If not end of this year, definitely next year. Because I'm telling you right now, Van Der Esch, he's we don't know if he's gonna stay healthy. We don't know nothing about. I mean, the dude is always hurt. So I'm telling you right now, that's why they didn't extend him today, along with every other team that didn't extend nobody. But we basically we stole him. We stole him in the fourth round. I'll take that. So that's a big plus. But we got this kid named Nashawn Wright, defensive back. The dude is 6'4". All right. They want big DBs on the team. They want big DBs. And this kid his brother was from Last Chance U, and his brother is younger. He's also at Oregon State. And he's good. So we'll see how this kid turns out. Obviously, he's going to be a starter this year. He's probably going to be special teams, maybe coming on a nickel or dime defense every now and then. If he earns it, so. But I give my team a B minus. That's honestly.
And
Cowboys.
how about the San Francisco 49ers with Patrick Ewing about to make a dunk? Terry.
I'm going to give them a B. I mean, they got their guy in Trey Lance. That's the guy that Shanahan wanted. I heard him say after the draft in the interview, he was looking for a mix of or a combination of Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees. He's mobile. I think that makes our offense a little bit more unpredictable with him being mobile. We got the power running game. You don't know if Kittles is going to be in blocking or they run that play action or a bootleg and he beats you for a touchdown because he's wide open because he's so scared of the run. And I think they'll use Trey Lance to run the ball as well, short yardage gains. They picked up a cornerback, which I like. They needed to address that. They got a running back, Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. He'll be able, I know Mossford got hurt a couple of times last year, so that's a nice little fill-in for them. And then they picked up a safety out of USC, Talanoa Hufanga. He's a hard-hitting safety. John Lynch was really high on this guy.
Say that 4 times fast.
But he's a big hitter, and I would have liked to have seen them pick up a wide receiver to kind of line up on the other side of Deebo Samuels, but they did pick up Jalen Hurd back in 2019, and he's still coming off a ACL injury, so I think they're expecting him to kind of be ready for him this season. So I'm gonna give them a B. We'll wait and see. I feel like they made a lot of picks for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And not really someone that's going to impact them, say, this year. So I'll give them a B.
And another Lone Star down at the Emerson.
How
Great
about
Jerry
them Cowboys? Woo! As the nature boy would say. Listen, when you can get a player of Micaiah Parsons' ability, length, strength, running, getting to the quarterback, dropping in coverage. Oh my God. I give them a B+. Of course, we had a need. Everybody said we needed corners. JC Horn, they left off the board. Patrick Surtain, he was gone. And you have Parsons sitting there, and he said he's always wanted to be a Cowboy. So when you got a player that wants to come to your team and he's ready and to give his all and to do what he's going to do Sunday in and Sunday out, you got to grab somebody like that. I give the Cowboys credit dropping down in the draft, okay, collecting another pick in the 3rd round. And that pick was, we talked about him. You just talked about him, Malcolm. Nashawn Wright, being able to get a corner of that size, 6'4", over 200 pounds, long arms. I think Dan Quinn is trying to put the Legion of Boom 2 in Dallas. Then we got another cornerback in the draft. I'm gonna get to Jabril Cox in a minute. We got another cornerback in the draft. What's his name? Oh God, I just had it. I just had him here. Israel out of South Carolina. I can't pronounce his last name, but another 6'4" corner to jam you at the line of scrimmage, to be able to throw those receivers off their routes, over 200 pounds, runs like a 4.4 40. Listen, when you can put those kind of guys on the field in a Dan Quinn's defense, and then most of all, you talked about Jabril Cox. He's a tackling machine. This dude is a tackling machine, man. I mean, listen, from sideline to sideline, special teams, he's going to impact that team right away. And then this was a pick we got later rounds. The kid name is Quentin Bohanna. He's got about 6'4", 340 pounds. I've been wanting a big beef of a man in that middle of that defensive line for a long time. And we got a young stud right there to go along with the regular rotation that we have. Neville from last year, and all the rest of the guys we had that we picked up even this year in the offseason. So that defensive line rotation is going to be awesome. Watch out, Cowboys, here they come. I'm telling you, they got some edge rushers they picked up too. Watch out. I'm telling you, they're young, they're ready, they're hungry. Dan Quinn got his stamp all over this draft. Watch out. Here come them Cowboys.
Yeah, you sound like a wrestling promoter. I got a question for Malcolm and Emerson, and I'm going to start it off with Malcolm. Now, Emerson brought up how the Cowboys are going with basically with big corners, that they're going about 6 feet and some change tall with long
6'4", 6'4" to be exact. Come on, 6'4".
Now, are the Cowboys going to be playing more press coverage? Or are they still going to be backing off?
Go ahead.
They're going to mix it up with both. They're going to mix it up with both. Because you got to see what the safety is going to hold up. See if we got that, in other words, that last line of defense. Because everybody's going to have to know their assignment, you know. They're going to disguise the defense well because they're not going to show it all the time. I mean, they may do press at certain areas. Depends on where the ball is. If it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 12, you know what I mean? Or 3rd and 15. Of course, they're going to change it up. They're going to sit there and let the defense come to them. I mean, let's see what happens because they may have to sit on some routes and jump. And the key is get the ball. If they can get turnovers, that's the key. Strip the quarterback. Get to the quarterback is everything. The key is without no pressure on that quarterback, you're going to get picked apart all day. I don't care what defense you got or who your defense is.
And how about you, Emerson?
Listen, when you have corners with that size, corners with that size, there's a variety of things you can do to offset the offense. Let's not forget about Kelvin Joseph. This guy can run with the best of them. He's quick, he's fast. He can cover those little slot receivers there in the slot. He can play on the outside too. So the Cowboys really picked up like 3 corners that they can use in multi-different facets of the game. Also, you can take one of those 6'4" corners with size and move him to safety. I believe you can move one of them to safety and you'll have somebody on that back end with some range and some ability with a corner and a safety mindset that can plug in right there at various times, depending on how you want to go with your defense. We know we're in a passing league now, so you can never have too many good defensive backs. So just being able to plug all those guys in there, Dan Quinn is going to design one hell of a defensive scheme this year. You will not see this. You will not see the Cowboys, okay, at the bottom of the defensive rankings this year. You heard it here first on Exo Sports.
I hope so. I hope they're at the bottom.
I like Kevin
I hope the
Joseph,
well
though.
is
I do like
dry.
him.
Starch dry.
Got this on tape too.
Terry,
Uh,
do you see Trey Lance sitting on the bench for the full season, or do you see Garoppolo getting hurt and then Garoppolo never gets that job back?
I mean, it depends on Garoppolo's health. He's been injury prone for the past 2 years. If he does stay healthy, I believe the 49ers plan is for Garoppolo to start, bring Trey Lance along this year. I don't see Garoppolo with the Niners next year. But again, it's all on his health. If he does get hurt and Trey Lance comes in and doesn't have to be great, but shows some promise and is decent, I don't think Jimmy G gets the job back.
Now, Brian, well, we talked this morning, and you wasn't too wild about some of the picks that Pittsburgh had taken. And one, you didn't think about the tight end. But I gave Pittsburgh a B in the draft because we lost McDonald, our tight end. He retired, but he didn't have good hands. If you wanted him to run block, he's your man. If you wanted him to catch the football, it was a roll of the dice, 50-50 if he catch it. Now, this kid here out of Penn State, he can catch the football.
Oh,
he can block.
Yeah.
He can run down the seam. So this kid is going to start. Kendrick Green, he's either going to roll into guard or he's going to go in as center. Now, Pittsburgh's already signed a center finner for 1 year contract. He can either play center or guard. So how this kid starts off in training camp can determine whether he's going to play guard or center. Now, Pittsburgh's also looked at another offensive tackle out of Texas A&M, D. Moore, offensive tackle. So I think what Pittsburgh is doing with their draft picks this year, because this was a very good draft. Mm-hmm. Everybody got something.
Oh yeah.
Out of this draft.
Yeah, it was a deep draft.
And so I think Pittsburgh is saying, okay, look, we're going to put these kids in and they're going to play. And Pittsburgh's already told Terrell Edmonds, we're not picking up your 5th year.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And so Pittsburgh picked up a safety in the draft out of Oklahoma, Trey Norwood. So that tells me Edmonds going to play out his 5th year, and then Pittsburgh's going to let him walk. I mean, not his 5th year, his 4th year, and Pittsburgh's going to let him walk. And then this kid is going to come in and play. So I think this is where Pittsburgh went with their draft, that they said, you know what? These are the kids in this draft. They're going to have an opportunity to play either. I think the offensive line guys that they picked, they got a good chance of playing this year or next year. So I give Pittsburgh a B. See what happens, but I think with Najee, Big Ben's got a chance.
Let me ask you a question, Jay.
Yep.
between the tight end, well, your corners. Um, who would you say is your number one?
Your number one corner is the old man.
Mm.
The old man is your number one corner.
And
The rest, your Nelson wanted out of Pittsburgh.
yep. So that's why I thought the tight end pick was so iffy. Offensively, I don't think we had an issue. The scheme may have been an issue, but
Here's the problem. Pittsburgh's tight end, he can't block. You can put him in, you can spread him out, but he can't block when you put him next to the tackle. He's not blocking. He'll look at you and say, "That's not my job. You better bring another tight end in because that's not my job. My job is to
Every
go out
job is
there
yours when you're on the football.
and catch the football." And Pittsburgh knew it. But now they've got a tight end that can go in there, block, and then all of a sudden he's blocked. If the running game is going good, block, sneak out the backfield, boom, hit you right down the seam. When that safety's trying to sneak up and stop Najee, now that tight end, if he can go right down that seam. So, as they say, everything looks good on paper. All the kids got potential, but you got to put it on the field.
Who was your tight end last year? Was it McDonald?
McDonald and
from the Colts,
but he was
who?
Ebron?
Ebron, yeah.
Ebron, he's got decent hands, but can't block.
Yeah, that's a block.
And McDonald could block, but he had hands of stone. They were cold.
Wow, we got rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
you guys.
let me say this. I don't know if you fellas forgot about this, but there were some players that were signed as undrafted free agents this year. I always like to look at that and keep my eyes on the undrafted free agents that are signed on Sunday, which is after the draft.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to point out a receiver that the Cowboys picked up from Mississippi State, Osarius Mitchell, I'm sorry, 6'5" frame. You don't see too many of those guys with that kind of frame, over 200 pounds. I'm not saying he's somebody that can be impactful right away, but being able to make the team first and foremost, and then seeing how he can grow into a player that you might be able to see 2 years from now, 3 years from now, due to the salary cap, teams are going to be cutting players and releasing players due to salary cap relief. But take a look at some of your undrafted free agents that your team signed, and keep an eye on those guys. There's always a diamond in the rough out of an undrafted free agent. Let's go with Tony Romo. I can go with Miles Austin. These are Billy Bates was an undrafted free agent. The list goes on and on. The great Drew Pearson, undrafted free agent. So keep an eye on some of those guys as you're watching your team, because I'm telling you, there's always a diamond in the rough there. I love those guys' mentality when they come out there. We got nothing to lose. I didn't get drafted. I'm not supposed to be here. And then something happens in camp. High draft pick rips his ankle or tears a knee, unfortunately. These things happen, and that undrafted free agent gets on the field and he says, I'm not leaving. I'm going to play every down like it's my last down.
Yeah.
So
and it's getting I don't know, but for me it's getting pretty ugly to see that after the Super Bowl, some guys get cut. And just what you just said, then players get drafted, then players get signed, undrafted free agents, and then the NFL teams cut again. And then you have another pay cut coming in the summertime. So your money isn't really there until September, until you play that first game.
That's it.
The business.
And,
It's a business.
Yeah,
You know what it is.
Don't take it
It's all
personal.
business.
It's
Yeah.
only business.
The Cowboys also picked up a receiver in the 5th round from Stanford. He's 6'4".
Yes.
Simi Fahoko, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Fahoko.
Listen.
And he was
Listen to me.
one of the Pac-10 good receivers too.
Listen to me. That kid can play. That kid can play. That kid can play.
Now, moving on. What did Green Bay Packers do to upset Aaron Rodgers? I'm going to start this one off with Brian.
Well, first of all, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Supposed to give him some offensive weapons.
Oh.
Oh, I had a conversation a couple of years ago. A guy at my job, he's a Packer fan, and we talk about Aaron Rodgers. And the conversation came up is, what would he do if he had one of elite wide receivers with him? The numbers that he would have potentially put up is like, you can't even see, or you wouldn't even know what he can do because he's never had one. He has some good wide receivers, but he's never had no Hall of Fame type wide receivers. Put him with like imagine with a Green or from Atlanta, what's his name? I can't even think. Julio Jones. Just imagine if he had an elite number 1 receiver. I can imagine, but ultimately, it seemed like things gone bad. He wants out. Gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. So I think it's gonna be something to watch. Malcolm putting his hat back is serious right now. So we'll see.
What do you think, Terry?
I mean, they did every. I mean, they drafted Jordan Love 2019, and the crazy part was they traded up to draft him, a quarterback, when he, Aaron Rodgers I think he was coming off an MVP season. He was looking for some players that, he could win another Super Bowl with. And so that move right there, he was baffled by that. Look at Tampa Bay, the game last year. Matt LaFleur he didn't go for it on the 8-yard line with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. He wanted to kick a field goal. What are you doing there? You could go this year. They drafted a cornerback in the 1st round. I know they were picking 29th, but there were plenty of good offensive players that they could have selected in the 1st round, and they didn't do it. It seems to me that the message that ownership is basically sending to him is, we really don't care what you think. We don't care about your opinion. We're going to run our team the way we want to run it. You got us a Super Bowl. That's nice, but we're going to do what we want to do, and we don't care what you think. So.
And what do you think, Malcolm?
I'm going to basically piggyback off of what Brother T said. He was dead on, hands down, dead on, as far as they picked that rookie, Jordan Love, and like you said, they traded up to get him. In other words, they touched the money too quick. They said, "Yeah, Aaron's gone, and we're gonna find a way to to ease him out of this. He becomes MVP." And like Brother T said, you never get him they didn't get him no weapons in the past 7, 8 years. I mean, how about you wouldn't got this speed cornerback? Why you get him a speed receiver? Am I saying that right? I mean, there was plenty of receivers out there. You had Elijah Moore out there. You had Rondell Moore out there. You had this dude from Western Michigan, Dwayne.
Plenty of receivers. Plenty of receivers.
Offensive weapons, man.
Get them some weapons, hands down. And they refuse to, like you said, hey, let them keep doing what they're doing. Heck, I don't want them to win. They beat us anyways because they Aaron Rodgers. So, like I said, let them keep doing what they're doing. Keep upsetting them. Keep upsetting them. Like I said, let that man do. It ain't even about the money with him because the man comes on Jeopardy and says, guess what? I'm getting Jeopardy money. Guess what? Take that Jeopardy money and run.
Probably gonna go host
Take that Jeopardy money and run. I don't even want him to come back. I'm good.
And what do you think, Emerson?
Listen. Here's the deal. Okay, Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Biden.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers. He has to know. All right, he sat behind Brett Favre. All right, he had to wait his turn. Jordan Love came along. All right, they had an opportunity to get somebody that's going to replace you. Relax, as Aaron Rodgers would say. Okay, and he's just got a little beside himself. He got a little cocky this year. He made the statement, some of my down years are most quarterbacks' career years. Okay, so we know who you are, Aaron Rodgers. I'm still upset about that 3rd and 20 pass he completed on my Cowboys in a playoff game. All right, Aaron Rodgers, relax, okay? They're going to take care of you. And I understand whatever you guys, I heard everything you said about they needed some weapons with him, but we know Aaron Rodgers can put me, you, or any of us on the field, and he can make us be household names, okay? So I want to say this. They did have some struggles with their defense, and they couldn't stop anybody when they needed to stop somebody, all right? If you look at some of the film and look at the tape, they had some holes on that defense that they were trying to fill, and they didn't get the job done. There was a few games I watched last year. If they were able to just shut down some of those teams on 3rd down, Green Bay could have won the game. So let's go back to that. But when you have Aaron Rodgers, and I can get into a shootout match with you, you can take a mediocre defense and still be in the game because I know I got Aaron Rodgers. As my man Stephen A would say, he's a bad man.
Yeah.
So let's wait and see how this whole thing plays out. Right now, I understand he said he's not coming back unless the GM is fired. So we got to see what happens. And the timing that Aaron Rodgers came out with this on the night of the draft was very unique. That's the word I want to use. Very unique.
It's called This is Jeopardy.
Now spell unique.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, he did have a great receiver. Adams is a great receiver. He does have a great receiver. Adams is a great receiver.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 2 receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
I think
Now, I got a question for you guys. And I'm going to start this one off with Terry.
Mhm.
What NFL team do you think Aaron Rodgers may go to?
49ers. Nah. We made the call. We did
They did make a call.
But they wouldn't trade him in the NFC. I think they're gonna send him to the AFC. I would say he's probably gonna end up with the Broncos, but I won't rule out the Raiders. I know Gruden has been quoted as saying he regretted overlooking Aaron Rodgers when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they might try to sneak in there and scoop him up, but I'm going to say Denver.
Okay. How about you, Emerson?
The Raiders. He fits everything the Raiders would like to do. They haven't really been sold on Carr for the last couple of years. I think they're going with Carr right now because they have no other choice, and he's one of their only options right now. But if he could get his hands on Aaron Rodgers, I think Gruden would do everything. He'll drive to Aaron Rodgers' house and pack him up, put him in his car, and say, "You're coming to Vegas with me." That's the team I think would most be sought after for Aaron Rodgers are the Raiders.
And how about you, Malcolm?
Wow. Everybody stole my man, my team. It was the Raiders all day because they will not trade him to the NFC. We will not, if they do this stupid for it. They will not let him come and beat them down every year. And they will take him to the AFC. And it ain't but so many teams he chose. And there was only 2 teams he chose was Denver and the Raiders for the AFC. This is his list of teams.
Yeah.
So he also had San Francisco on there, but they ain't in the AFC. So no doubt. If I was there, the Jaguars, I try to make some move for them if I can, because they ain't really got nothing. Or Tennessee. So that might be a surprise team. So Tennessee saying, we'll give you the kitchen sink for him, and he can make them better, But those have to be an AFC team. They trade to the NFC, they might as well just cut their own throat. Because the boy is bad. The boy is bad.
Yes, he is.
Witness,
that
the boy
man
is bad.
Yeah. And how about you, Brian?
I think it would be the Raiders. I think they would be the only one that will pull the trigger and have the assets to be able to do it. And like Malcolm said, I don't see them giving them to anybody in the NFC. That's just not going to happen. So I think it would be the Raiders if anybody, and would try to pull that trigger.
The team that I see Aaron Rodgers going to is Denver Broncos. Denver's defense is ready to win now. And if you take Denver's defense and you put it with Aaron Rodgers, you can see Kansas City and the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship. Hands down. That would be one good dogfight.
Yeah.
And the NFL ratings would be crazy if you had Aaron Rodgers going up against Mahomes. So that's what I see. I didn't touch on what upset Aaron Rodgers, and I think
the money. It's the money.
What upset Aaron Rodgers was they drafted the quarterback. They said, well, we don't have to talk to him about it.
Exactly.
But then this year, before the draft, they went to his house and said, hey, we want you. We don't want to let you, we don't want you to go anywhere. You should have did that to Aaron Rodgers from the very beginning and said, look, you're our guy. We're going to draft another quarterback for the future, but you are our main man.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers is a highly intelligent man that could understand that. But you just can't throw mud on a brand new car and then say, well, let me just wash that off. You had no business throwing mud on it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, the writing was kind of on the wall. I'm not to say that he should have seen it, but they did it with Brett Favre too.
Yep. Oh.
And I have a question. Since the Packers, do they have an owner, or are they they don't,
they
right?
have a board,
No.
and then they have one. I think the person that's in charge right now is a doctor.
So this is going to be very interesting how this all plays out then.
I think he's like this. I'm out. I've had enough. I know who I am. Sayonara. But I want to thank all our fans for watching XO Sports Talk.
XO Sports Talk.
Do it in the beginning.
Please hit
XO
the
Sports
subscribe
Talk.
button. I'm in trouble again with Malcolm for not telling you from the very beginning. Please hit the subscribe button, but also hit the like button. And if you hit the dislike button, please give us comments on why you didn't like the show so we can improve the show. But we want to say thank you all for watching our show.
Until the next time.
Hey, until the next time on XO Sports Talk Live We'll see you soon. Woo! Thank you for watching.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Please subscribe.
And hit the
Please subscribe.
subscribe.
Subscribe.